What's going on, guys? This is LaughNapkin, and today I have 3 stories for episode 17 of r/Entitled Parents. So hit that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and let's get into it. You're making my daughter gay! So this happened back in high school. I had just come out as bi, and my best friend said she was too. So after weeks of talking about it, we decided to date, but take things slow as it was our first non-hetero relationship. Needless to say, as with most high school relationships, it didn't work out, and we agreed mutually to break up. At this time, I'd also come out to my very conservative parents who were just getting back to talking to me when my mom got a phone call and left the house to take it outside. This she never does. She popped her head in a few minutes later. Mom, did you date blank? Me, yeah, but we agreed it wasn't working out. She then sat opposite and snapped at me that her mother was furious and that your daughter forced mine to be with her. Blank told me so. She's making my daughter gay. This led to a very long meeting with my head of year at school. She apparently reported me for sexual assault. We never went that far, and harassment, and wanted me expelled. Fortunately, my head of year is a lesbian. She brushed off entitled parents' concerns with they're teenage girls. They'll fall out and make up. Sorry for the lack of speech. To this day, I wish I'd heard what was said on that phone. Entitled mom leaves her son alone on my porch for hours. This happened a little bit ago and I can't stop thinking about it and thought it would be fun to share. So a little backstory. I recently moved to a new house in a small town. The kind where everyone knows everyone. I moved to this town from a bigger city, so it was a bit of an adjustment, but I liked the quiet, and it was closer to my new job, which was a plus. The new job was at a daycare center in Portland later that opened at 6 in the morning. I requested the opening shift so I would get off at 2 p.m. and be able to have some free time in the afternoons. Now, when I moved into the neighborhood, a few of the neighbors stopped by to welcome me and bring me plates of cookies, casseroles, etc. One woman, our future entitled mom, and her family came by to say hello and asked me where I worked. I told them I was a daycare worker. Entitled mom, oh really? I've been looking for somewhere to have my boy stay while I'm at work over the summer. What ages do you watch? Me, 5 to 6 years old. Entitled mom, that's perfect, she says with a smile. Me, yeah, I'd be happy to see him in my class if you ever decide to enroll him. This was the seed that would sprout into a giant tree of crazy. Now on with the show. So it was a typical morning for me. Up at the butt crack of dawn and out the door by 5:45 to get to work by 6. It was a pretty uneventful day. Nothing major happening, so by the time 2 p.m. rolled around, the day had flown by. Come to find out, this was not the case for everyone today. I arrived home to find a police car and the entitled mom with her 5-year-old son talking to the police on my porch. I was confused as there was no reason for her to be there and no one had tried to contact me about anything happening at my house. I park and get out of my car and start to walk to the house and I call out. Me, what's going on? The entitled mom was not talking to the police, she was screaming, and upon seeing me, she completely exploded. Entitled mom, how dare you leave my son outside all day? He could have been kidnapped. She continued on like that as 2 police officers approached me. PO1, PO2. PO1, excuse me, miss, but did you leave this little boy outside while you were gone? Me, no, I left for work early this morning. I'm just now getting home. I've been at work all day. At this point, I look over at entitled mom and her son. The son was filthy. It looked like he'd been playing in the dirt. His knees were scratched but not bloody, and he was holding an open backpack that had contained a coloring book and crayons based on what was laying all over my porch. The officers looked stunned a bit and looked at each other. They asked me to follow them and we make our way up onto the porch. Entitled Mom: "Aren't you gonna arrest her? She endangered my son. What kind of babysitter are you?" Me: "Babysitter?" Entitled Mom: "Yes, you're a babysitter. You told me when I stopped by before. Well, some babysitter you are. Look at what you did to my son. You said you would be happy to watch him." Me: finally understanding what's going on. "Oh no, you misunderstood me. I work at a daycare a few minutes away. I don't run a daycare out of my house. I said I would be happy to have him in my class at the daycare." Entitled Mom: "Don't lie. You're just trying to cover your butt." Police Officer 1: "Can you prove that you were at this daycare today?" I say I can pull out my phone and call the center. The police officer talking to my boss for a few minutes before handing me back my phone. Police Officer 2: "Ma'am, was this woman here when you dropped your son off?" Entitled Mom: "Yes, she was. I saw her through the window." Police Officer 1: "Ma'am, her boss just confirmed that she was at work." Entitled Mom: "She's lying. I bet she just called a friend to cover her butt. I bet you don't even have a job. That's why she has to run a crappy babysitting service out of her crappy house." Me: "I just got home from work. There weren't even any cars in the driveway." Entitled Mom: "Yes, there was. You probably left through the back door. You were supposed to watch him. You said you would watch him and you never opened up the door for him to come inside. He's hungry and thirsty, and look at him. He's covered in dirt. You should have let him in and watched him." Me: "Weren't you listening? I'm not a babysitter. I work at a daycare. I said I would be happy to watch him if you enrolled him there." Entitled Mom: "She's lying." Police Officer 2: "Ma'am, did this woman speak to you this morning about watching your son?" Me: "No, like I said, I was at work by 6. Police Officer 2: "Have the two of you ever set up a time for you to watch her son?" Me: "No. This is only my second conversation with her. The first was me explaining where I work. I guess she got confused." Entitled Mom: "You're lying, little brat. I'm gonna tell everyone how horrible you are at babysitting and you'll never get any work again. Good luck keeping your house when you're unemployed." Me: "For the last time, lady, I'm not a babysitter." Police Officer 1: "Ma'am, you left your child here without any confirmation that anyone was even home?" Entitled Mom: "So? She's a babysitter. She's supposed to watch him." Police Officer 1: "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to arrest you for child endangerment." The entitled mom then turns from angry to furious and begins yelling at me again for misleading her, completely dropping the whole "she's lying" story and saying she's gonna sue me. It's been a few weeks now. The mom was let go for whatever reason, and the little boy goes to the daycare I work at now. I just wish I had a picture of the entitled mom's face when she realized I was her son's teacher and I wasn't lying after all. But that's a story for another time. Uber passenger tried to steal my skateboard. I own a small skate company and sell skateboards. We don't make tons of money, so I also drive for Uber to fund as much as humanly possible. Yes, I'm that stereotype. Also, I always have my skateboard in the back of my car. You never know when you'll find a nice smooth parking lot or a cool spot you want to skate. Anyways, I've gotten all kinds of crazy passengers, but this little poo takes the cake. I go to pick up a family from a fancy hotel in downtown San Diego. They told me they were going on a cruise, and of course they all had their bags. We put them in the trunk where I keep my skateboard. This is when I first noticed this little poo pick up my board and admire it. No big deal. Lots of people like our board. It's bright and colorful. Even my grip tape and trucks are super colorful. Anyways, after they throw their bags in my trunk, they hop in, and we drive to their cruise. This little poo then proceeds to heavily compliment my board and tell me how cool skateboarders are. He even says he looks up to them. We chat for a few minutes about what tricks I could do and where I skate locally. This is when he asks if he could have my board. "You'd be so much cooler if you gave me your board. You'd be my hero," says the little poo. "Aw, I'm sorry, I just can't do that. It's my board, it's very special to me. It's set up for me specifically," I tell him. "I'll be just like you then." "You know, we sell them." I hand him the flyers I keep in my door just in case anyone ever wants a deck or a shirt or whatever. "Dad, can we buy one?" His dad nods yes. As we pull up to the cruise, I go pop the trunk for them and let them get their bags. I notice the dad take my board and hand it to his son. The son starts playing on it when I get out. "Hey, please don't play on that." The dad looks annoyed and says, "You said we could buy it. How much?" "You can buy a deck, but not my deck." The kid glares at me and keeps playing. "We want this one. We're going on a cruise and I doubt they'll sell us one for the trip." I don't know what to tell you. Then the little poo hits a pebble or something and just faceplants. I go and take my board back. Now the father is livid. "You set up his board wrong and now he's hurt. We want it for free now. I'm gonna sue." "Yeah, I need it," the little poo whimpers as he starts to cry while I throw my board back into the car. "Give it back to him." The dad has his veins popping all over his face. He tries to open my trunk but can't figure out how, so he hits it instead. "Stop hitting my car." I get in and prepare to drive away when this dad steps in front of my car. "I'm not moving till you give it back." He starts smacking on my hood. "Move, I'll run you over," I shout back and start honking. I've never been very patient. Now at this point we're making a scene, and cruise security comes over to fix it. "What's going on? You're slowing the line down." The dad hits my car again. "This flippin' Uber driver stole my son's skateboard." "Is that true?" "Of course not. It's mine. Why would you even take a skateboard on a cruise? Isn't that against the rules or something?" The security guard has a dirt moment and really thinks about it. "You're right. That'd be dangerous. Why would you bring a skateboard?" he asked the dad. "Well, we weren't going to, but he sold it to us on the ride over." The dad takes out his flyer. "I told them they could buy one, but not my personal board," I explain. "I need to get going. Please, make him move." The security guard pulls the dad aside and waves me by. I see them start arguing and that little poo is still crying on the ground. I turn off my driver app for a few minutes when Uber sends me a notification. It says driver rating protection kicked in. Essentially, they removed a bad review because a customer regularly leaves bad reviews on their drivers. I'm even angrier now that this guy left a bad review after trying to steal my board. Anyway, there's no exciting conclusion. I'm just mad and ranting now. Well, that about wraps it up. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and bell. By the way, I just started a Discord server for anyone looking to be part of the LaughNapkin community. Link in the description below. See you next time.